This video is going to explain how to find the surface area of triangular prisms. So you'll notice that a triangular prism looks different than a rectangular prism, and that it is made up of two triangles, and then the rest of the faces would be rectangles. There's also going to be a different formula, and this is right here on our screen that I'm circling in blue. It will be really important that we once again are using our formula sheet to find the surface area of this triangular prism. If you look at our surface area formula for a triangular prism, you'll see that we have different letters than we did before in our rectangular prism formula, and that's because we're once again working with triangles and rectangles. So you'll see that we have the letter A. The letter A will always be the base of your triangle. The letter B will always be one side of your triangle. The letter C will always be the third side of your triangle. The H, once again, will always make the height, and that will meet the base so that you make your right angle. And then your width will show you how far back or how wide your rectangular or sometimes even your triangular piece is on your triangular prism. So let's go ahead and take a look at a few examples. If you take a look at our first slide, you'll see once again that we have the formula on our page. Surface area equals A times H plus A times W plus B times W plus C times W. I'm going to encourage you to make sure that you're making that list off to the side like I have with all of your letters so that you can easily write down and identify the different parts. Most times the width and the height are going to be your easiest numbers to identify. So let's go ahead and do that. How wide is our triangular prism? Our triangular prism is going to be 12 centimeters. What's the height? Well, we need to look at our base and look at our dotted line for our right angle, and that's going to tell us our height, which is then 3 centimeters. Now we have to look for our A, B, and C. Remember that I said before that our A is always going to be the base of the triangle. So in this case, the base is 8 centimeters. See these lines? This line, this line? That tells us that all of the sides of the triangle are equal. So that means that B and C are also going to be 8 centimeters. So now all we need to do is put these numbers into our formula. So let's go ahead and write this out. Surface area equals A times H, which would be 8 times 3, plus A times W, which would be 8 times 12, plus BW, 8 times 12, plus CW, 8 times 12. And then what are we going to do? We're going to break it into sections like we did before with our rectangular prisms, and we are going to find the total surface area. Now this makes it pretty easy because these three sections, your 8 times 12, are all the same. So you're not going to have to do as many calculations for this problem. So if we go through, we know that 8 times 3 is 24, 8 times 12 is 96. Remember, you can be using a calculator for this so you don't make any silly errors. And now we're going to go ahead and add all of these numbers together. So 96 plus 96 plus 96 plus 24 will get us an area or surface area of 312 centimeters squared. So like I said, it's all about using the formula. If you can use the formula, you should be able to successfully get the surface area. Go ahead and take a look at another example. This is what we would call a right triangular prism because you'll notice that we have a right triangle making up two of the faces of our triangular prism. So once again, let's go ahead and identify our A, B, C, H, and W. So if we take a look at our H is going to be 3 centimeters because that's making the right angle with the base. Our width is going to be 11 centimeters because that's how far back we're going. And now we have to figure out our ABC. If you take a look at A, which is our base, that would be your 4 centimeters. Your B is going to be 3 centimeters, and your C is going to be 5 centimeters. It's okay for B and H to be the same number. It's okay that one side represents two different parts of our formula. In some cases, that is just the way it's going to be. Now we're going to take this information again, and we are going to put it into our formula. So you'll see that I wrote out my formula. I have 4 times 3, 4 times 11, 3 times 11, and 5 times 11. So now I'm going to go ahead and break it apart. So I have 12 plus 44 plus 33 plus 55. When I go ahead and add all those together, I'm going to get an answer or a surface area of 144 centimeters squared. And that will be the surface area of this triangular prism. All right, let's go ahead and have you try this one on your own. I want you to identify A, B, C, W, and H. I'll get you started with the formula then, and then we'll have you solve it on your own as well. So right now, go ahead and figure out what A, B, C, W, and H would be, and then we'll continue. So go ahead and check your A, B, C, W, and H. Notice that they're trying to trick you up a little bit by putting this 20 back here on this side. This side is equal to this side. So your C would be 20 centimeters. Let's go ahead and fill in our surface area formula. So I have 12 times 16, 12 times 10, 16 times 10, and 20 times 10. So let's go ahead and calculate this out. And you'll see that I get 192 plus 120 plus 160 plus 200. When I add all of those together, what do I get as my final surface area? I get 672 centimeters squared. And that would be the surface area of this triangular prism. One more. I know you're probably rolling your eyes at me by now, but it is so important that you understand the formula of a surface area or of the surface area for a triangular prism, and that you can successfully identify the different parts A, B, C, W, and H. So let's go ahead and have you do this whole problem on your own. Go through and identify your letters, go through and fill out your formula, and multiply it, add it the whole way down until you get your final surface area answer, and then we'll check to make sure that you're on the right track. So if you see I went through, I did my first step. Notice that this 2.5 has those two bars, so that tells us that this side and this side are also 2.5 meters. I filled out my formula, which is my second step. I solved each part, which is my third step, getting my fourth step, which would be my final answer of 60 meters squared. So when you're working with triangular prisms, please make sure that you are using your triangular prism formula, because that is going to help you immensely with getting to the right answer.